Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that.
See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News. As we get you set for the latest news, insight, and analysis as game time approaches, the BNN pregame show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out LithiaFordBoise.com to view the full inventory of vehicles, or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. Now, let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News.
Well, greetings, Boise State fans. The Broncos are in the house. Gordy Presnell leading the charge of the players there as they make their way into the Thomas and Mack Center, about an hour ago, as they get set for tonight's game against Colorado State. The Broncos guaranteed themselves a winning season last night. They did it by beating Utah State in the opening round of the tournament. Maybe not the big win that some were expecting for the Broncos, but they got the win, and they are moving on to the quarterfinals tonight against number 3 seed Colorado State. 2 games, both big wins for Colorado State against the Broncos, but they're looking to change their fortune here tonight. The Broncos are going with the black uniforms, it looks like, as we welcome you on into the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. My name is BJ Rains. I am in Boise, and Colin Mitchell is there at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas. I'll be joining you tomorrow, Colin. Looking forward to getting down there. That Raising Cane's banner in the background looks pretty tasty, but welcome, folks, to the pregame show. Colin, welcome to you, man. How's Las Vegas?
It's good so far. It's day 2, and we got another exciting matchup. It's going to be the quarterfinal round of the women's tournament here, and big one for Boise State against Colorado State. Definitely a revenge game, having lost 2 earlier in the season, and it should be a great one.
No doubt about that. And again, we'll take your comments, we'll take your thoughts here on the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. And you know what? It worked last night, Colin, on the postgame show, so I figured I'd keep it going with the Cutwater. You got always, if you're supporting the sponsors, it's all right? And I am in my home office here, so I think it's okay to enjoy a Cutwater, and hopefully you guys are as well. Cutwater Spirits, more than 30 flavors of premixed premium cocktails. Highly recommend the lime margarita for your enjoyment, and perfect night to get on the Mountain West Network, have a couple of Cutwaters, and enjoy this game. We appreciate Cutwater Spirits, and they're more than 30 flavors. Again, pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. We want your game predictions. We want your comments. We want your score predictions. We had our friend Sam watching from the tarmac at the airport in Minneapolis last night, so let us know the craziest spot you are watching our show from. And again, the Boise State men, they are heading down to Las Vegas tomorrow. They will play on Thursday, but the women taking center stage, well-deserved yet again, as they will get set to take on Colorado State here in a little bit, just about 30 minutes or so. They will take on Colorado State. You just had Wyoming, the 2 seed, win by 15. But Colin, last night, let's look back before we look forward. A really impressive win for the Broncos last night. And again, I know it wasn't the 48-point win they had against them last time, but at this point in the season, you just got to survive and advance, and that's what the Broncos did.
Yeah, and that is exactly how it is. Survive and advance, and they didn't care about the style points. They didn't care about winning by 48 like last time. It was more just get to the next round and have an opportunity to keep winning to get to that championship and likely face UNLV. But overall, I mean, they got an 8-point win. It was hard fought. Utah State, I mean, any team playing in March is always going to give their hardest fight. So overall, I thought they played well, and I thought it was a great warm-up for tonight's game.
What is the Jake Forsyth's joking on here about the point spread, and he has BSU by 4. But is there a line or a point spread that you've found there somewhere for this matchup, do you think?
At some of the Caesars properties, I was looking to kind of get a gauge at the early games, and I didn't see one for the Boise State game, so I don't know. I know the San Diego State game it was a pick'em, and San Diego State won by 1. So it seems like Vegas is on top of their stuff today.
Well, if you go based on the 2 games they've played against each other this season, back on January 11th, Colorado State won 71-50. And then just last Thursday, they played in Fort Collins 66-51. So Boise State has scored 50 points and 51 points in the 2 games against Colorado State. So I know that Gordy was talking, we'll hear the bite here in a minute, but I know Gordy was talking about, they got to try to get in front of their guards and do some things defensively, but you also got to score more than 51 points tonight to have a chance to win.
Yeah, definitely. And I think their offense has definitely progressed, even though it was Colorado State's last game in which they beat Boise State by 15. I think overall it was just a bad game, maybe looking too far ahead at March. But overall, I think offensively, I think Boise State will be fine. Defensively is the problem. You cannot get in a shootout with Colorado State.
Well, they got to take care of the ball as well. I think it was 21 turnovers last night, right?
Yep, 21.
Yeah, that's got to be better. But there were some bright spots, and let the freshmen kind of get their feet wet. I thought Maya Hansen, 20 points, was a nice bright spot last night.
Yeah, Maya Hansen was great. That was her first true breakout game since coming back from that knee injury, and she's still wearing. I mean, you saw in the intro video coming off the bus and entering the arena, she was even a bigger brace than what she had on during the game. So even with the brace, she was looking loose and letting it fly.
What else last night? I mean, Abby Muse obviously was in foul trouble. Still had, I think, 10 rebounds and a couple of blocks. Didn't score a lot, but didn't really need to. It sounds like they're going to, be without a key member of the rotation yet again for folks that maybe missed the game yesterday. But so some other players that got in that maybe don't play as much for various reasons. Maybe wanting to rest some players a little bit, knowing that you're going to have to play tonight. But any other takeaways from last night's game?
Yeah, you mentioned Abby Muse. I think that was probably the best thing that could have happened for them, ironically enough, is her getting in foul trouble and actually being able to sit more and get ready for tonight rather than letting all the gas out. But overall, I think it'll come down to the freshmen. It's going to be Colorado State's offense is just so good. They're going to have to score some points. And the freshman Natalie Pasco, I could see having a good game. Tatum Thompson, I believe, only had 2 points last night, and she's been great all year for them. So I could see it. It's kind of one of those things with the men's team that kind of very similar to the men's team in which anyone can go off on any given night. You don't know if it's going to be Elodie and Abby or some of the guards.
Any word on Anna Osley's status for tonight?
Yeah, Anna Osley is out again tonight with that concussion, so she will not be playing tonight.
And not a starter, but a key player off the bench that plays a lot and is one of their better perimeter defenders as well, which will make things tough tonight.
Yeah, she's averaging just under 6 points per game. When Maya did get injured, I know Anna entered the starting lineup. She started 11 out of their 30 games in the regular season. So definitely a key contributor, but not something that I guess will, if you're looking at it in Vegas terms, will shift the line too far. But definitely, in terms of rotating the players and everything, Anna is a big loss for them.
And again, now this is the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. My name is BJ Rains. I am in Boise. I'll be joining Colin in Las Vegas tomorrow, hopefully for a semifinal game tomorrow night if Boise State is able to find a way to beat Colorado State. This is the 6-3 matchup, the final quarterfinal game of the day. Alexandra Lambert, hello from Iowa. Go Broncos. Appreciate you for watching. Sorry about that. Appreciate you for watching. She says, go Broncos. Jordan's got 64-57 is his prediction. We got Jake saying BSU by 4. Let's see. Kurt Blake's got 57-54. That's what is something. That's probably about the range it would have to be for Boise State to pull this off.
Yep.
Sam, who was again watching last night from the tarmac in Minneapolis, is now back home.
Yeah, New Jersey and then Minneapolis and now home.
That's a long day. What is the you've been out there in the arena and things, checking things out. What is kind of the scene like today compared to yesterday?
Wyoming has a ton of fans here right now. They always travel well. I know New Mexico is one of those other teams that travels well. I wasn't here for that early game today, but Barrelman is here with Wyoming, and it's starting to get more of a buzz today rather than yesterday. Wasn't too bad either, but today you can definitely feel it.
Now, I said this earlier, and I was actually talking to Leon Rice about this when we had the men's press conference earlier today, and I think I said this with you on the morning show and maybe last night, but I think Boise State is in a nice spot tonight, Colin, because you look at, the number 3 seed Colorado State. You mentioned their last game was last Thursday against Boise State, and they've been sitting around in Las Vegas for a couple of days, and yesterday they watched 3 games. Today they've already watched 3 games. This will be the 7th game of the tournament, yet the first game for the Colorado State women. I know they had a great year. They've got the player of the year, I believe 19-10 record. But that's not easy to sit around, watch all these teams play, and then have to play a team in Boise State that's a talented team that was able to play last night, get their feet wet, let the freshmen kind of get the first game jitters out of the way. And the Broncos kind of coming in with nothing to lose tonight. So I think all the pressure's on Colorado State, especially to get off to a nice start, Colin.
Yeah, definitely. And the fact that they have sat out these last 2 days up until tonight, it really is a big deal. I mean, you think about how big this stadium is. They haven't gotten to shoot on here. I believe they're practicing either in Cox Pavilion or some other practice arena, but they haven't gotten to shoot in here. So it's a huge arena, and it might take some time for them to settle in tonight.
Bronco Nation update says, let's shock the Rams, go Broncos. Jordan talking about the Wyoming fans. Nobody wants to stay in Laramie. They get out of town well. But we've talked, Colorado State, as I said, Colin has won these games 71-50 and 66-51. So not to give us a huge scouting report on Colorado State, but I know they have the player of the year in the conference, and it'll be the player of the year going up against the defensive player of the year, kind of in Abby Muse.
Yeah, their player of the year is outstanding. McKenna Hofschild, she transferred 3 years ago from Seton Hall, and she's averaging 20.9 points per game, and that's pretty significant in college basketball. Her right-hand man, per se, is Destiny Thurman. She transferred from UTEP last season. She's averaging just over 13 points, and she's the Mountain West newcomer of the year. So the guard play is very, very good for the Rams, and they're tough to, I guess, keep from scoring on getting points on the board.
Well, we're going to hear from Gordy Presnell, Elliot Lalott here in a second as well, talking about the matchup. I want to take an updated look at the bracket as well, but do want to thank a couple of our sponsors. RowPaint.com, check them out. 15% off using that promo code BNN15. That's right, the promo code BNN15 gets you 15% off the interior painting of your home at RowPaint.com, and they are scheduling for those spring concrete coatings as well, whether it's your back patio, your garage, your basement. It's transformational. Get more information at RowPaint.com. Lithia Ford of Boise, I just got confirmation they are doing the hole-in-one again, Colin. I saw the receipt, so we're lucky to have and thankful to have Jim Sturk and Lithia Ford of Boise sponsoring a hole-in-one. You can win a Ford Bronco Sport. If you get a hole-in-one at the golf tournament on June 2nd, a hole-in-one gets you a new Ford Bronco Sport on hole 6 out of Timberstone. So thank you to Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out their full inventory of vehicles and purchase from them at lithiafordboise.com. And Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. The best in mobile e-branch online banking is Idaho Central Credit Union. It's so easy and so thankful we made the switch. You can too. Get more information at ICCU.com. I mentioned the golf tournament, Colin. Our sponsors, Idaho Central Credit Union, RowPaint.com. And you can win a free car, win a Bronco Sport from Lithia Ford of Boise if you get a hole-in-one on hole 6. And June 2nd is the date. We sold another foursome today, and I got to text you another name, Colin, that paid as well to mark it off the sheet. We're rocking and rolling here with the Bronco Nation News Golf Tournament. So if you're interested, don't wait. Jump in now. And we'd love to have you play out there at Timberstone Golf Course on June 2nd for the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show, and Lithia Ford of Boise, the sponsors of the golf tournament. Colin, preview our Gordy Presnell here clip. You were there last night in the press conference. You were one of the only ones there in the press conference. It was basically you and Gordy and the players having a one-on-one conversation at the podium. They had a microphone, but it didn't seem like there was anybody for you to pass it to. So nice job. I commend you for the questions. You did a great job. I said it on the post-game show last night, but for anybody that hasn't been listening, you did a great job. And obviously they were, I think the mood was, hey, just kind of relief. Didn't play great, got the win, but Gordy's attention at least pretty quickly turned to CSU.
Yeah, they didn't reveal too much, especially the players, but Gordy pretty much talked about how they got smacked up by Colorado State twice in the regular season and how they want to get revenge. And I think they're going to be ready, because when talking to Danny Bays live, I asked her about the strategy in guarding CSU, and she didn't want to reveal much. So there might have been some conversations still from the last game and in that thinking. But yeah, Gordy basically just said he knows what happened the last 2 games and he wants to change that.
Yeah, I do give Gordy, the players some credit. I thank them for thinking that so many people were watching this, that Colorado State was watching this. And I do remember last year, I forget when it was, there was a game during the regular season or a game during the tournament where someone sent me a screenshot, and Colorado State men's basketball was watching one of our post-game shows. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. Yeah, I didn't realize it was the actual account. I thought it was just a coach or something.
Somebody associated with the program was watching our post game show to try to get some insight on the game. So glad to know that that's happening, and that maybe Boise State's a little worried that Colorado State's probably. I mean, why wouldn't the other team want to watch our show? But let's hear from Gordy Presnell. Gordy Presnell spoke after the game, and a player, right? Also.
Yeah. Elodie Lalott is at the end of there, and she talks about CSU briefly.
We'll be get ourselves ready and hopefully do some rehabbing and get ready to play tomorrow night. Colorado State presents a lot of challenges for us because they run a lot of 5-out stuff, and then they just have a tremendous guard line that we've had a hard time staying in front of. So we'll regroup and study some film and get our kids ready, and we'll give it our best shot tomorrow. We're excited about getting a chance to play tomorrow, and we've pointed to the game, and so it's just something we're excited about playing, and I don't know what the right word is, but it's just an opportunity to play them again, and hopefully see how we do. They're the one team that has just thumped us, and not like easily. I mean, they just thumped us, and so we'll give it the best shot.
Obviously, the 2 losses to Colorado State earlier in the year, what are some adjustments, I guess, on the top of your mind that you can make heading into that 3rd game?
I think we can start the game, like we started the game slow for both games. Just starting good from the start will help a lot, and make sure we're there on defense and offense, so try to achieve on both ends of the court.
Faster start certainly would be big tonight, right, Colin?
Yeah, it would indeed. They need to come out of the gates firing and build some sort of, whether it's keeping it close or build some sort of lead to get ahead, because at any point Colorado State can strike.
We got some comments here. Let's see what else we have coming in. Go Broncos. Kurt Blake calling his shot 15, 10, and 5 for Abby Muse tonight. That would certainly be nice. He's also asking Colin, I don't know if there's any talk about this down there. I don't think so. He says any chance of a WNIT appearance for the women. I mean, they are only 17 and 15. They did finish in the upper half, but and for a young team, I mean, sometimes the WNIT or some of these tournaments you can buy your way in. And I know at some point the WNIT field might get bigger, I heard, but I would not expect there to be a postseason for this team.
No, and especially maybe if they would have won that game against Colorado State to finish off the season, where they could have been tied for that 3, 4, 5 seed, and then gotten a great seed in terms of that. But I mean, I guess you never know if they make a run in this tournament. But overall, I don't think they'll be going to the NIT now.
Well, we got a few more minutes here. If you have a comment or a score prediction or anything you want to get in, we would love to hear you. If you are in Las Vegas, like Colin is, like I will be tomorrow, or if you're heading down to Las Vegas, join us at Circa Resort and Casino. We will be there. It's on Fremont Street. That's the headquarters for Bronco Nation News. We'll be broadcasting all week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday shows live from Circa. We'll be out at Stadium Swim. They even hooked us up with a cabana, Colin. So I guess if anybody wants to come on Wednesday or Friday and hang out, we can. We have a BNN cabana, I guess, there at Circa. Maybe we provide the cabana and everybody else provides the drinks. Does that sound fair?
We'll see if Derek hooks you up. Well, that'll be to be determined, I guess.
Looking forward to that. Circa Resort and Casino. Come join us. We got some drink specials. I already packed the suitcase, Colin. I got about 40 Bronco Nation News shirts. I got some koozies. I got some sunglasses from ICCU. I got all kinds of good stuff. Some rally towels. So we got a lot of swag to give away, and we will do that at Circa Resort and Casino on Wednesday. We just got to kind of see what kind of mood I'm in, because Arizona State plays at 8:30, I was told, and we'll see if I can get in a good enough mood. Maybe if Colin gets a couple of drinks in me or watches me after I win one of my big blackjack hands, I can give him permission to go watch Arizona State. We'll have to
$6 tickets.
We'll have to not surprisingly, Oregon State, I think, is the opponent there. So, but if you're in Vegas, come check us out. Circa Resort and Casino. We'll be there 7 to 9, maybe 7 till later. We'll see how it's going. If you're looking for a job, how about transcomservice.com? They can help you every step of the way get into the trucking industry. Transcomservice.com. All the permits, all the licenses, things you need to get out there towing that first load, whether it's the big rig on your screen, the Amazon truck in your neighborhood, anything in between, let transcomservice.com help you out. Check them out. Transportation Compliance Service. You looking for Boise State gear? How about the Blue and Orange Store? The blueandorangestore.com. Check them out. You get free shipping any order over $40. That's right. Any order over $40 gets you free shipping. And you can go to the Boise Town Square Mall there, right next to the Pro Image on the second floor. They got the Blue and Orange Store. You can pick up all that stuff in person, all the NIL shirts, all that gear. So, Colin, as I play a little more of this video of the team kind of coming in, you were there. You kind of saw the team coming in. What was the mood, I guess? How did they? Can you tell anything with how the team was? We saw yesterday they were squeezing through an open door on the bus trying to make it through. You had LD Lalott bumper ahead on the mirror. I mean, it looked like a little, at least from this angle, a little smoother entry tonight.
Yeah, no, I didn't see them get off the bus, so I don't know exactly how close they parked this time. Hopefully it wasn't too close like yesterday, but definitely looked like a smoother entrance. But they look ready to go. I mean, I was talking to Alex, the SID. He seemed fired up, so I think that was a good representation of how the team is feeling, and they seemed ready to go.
Well, like I said, I think I don't know if they're win, but I don't know if they're going to win, but I think they keep it closer than the 15-point margin, which was the closest of the previous two. There's something about that 3 seed. Boise State men have done it all too long, and everybody on here remembers the year that Sam Merrill had like 35 points, and Boise State went down in the 3-6 game. I think San Diego State one year was the 6 seed and beat Boise State in that 3 game. The 6 seed, I think, has an advantage because you're usually still a pretty good team. There's not usually a huge margin from the 3 to the 6. And so, especially in this conference, right, Colin? I mean, there was a lot of tiebreakers in one-game scenarios where going into the last game, Boise State could have been anywhere from like 3 to 6, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's very interesting how this conference shaped out because from the 2 seed to the 6 seed, everyone wants to beat UNLV, and they're all very competitive around there. So no matter what, I mean, all these teams have beat up on each other. Colorado State, though they thumped, I guess, Boise State twice earlier in the regular season, they're sitting at 19-10. They've shown ways that they can lose, and then they've also shown they can win big games. Only losing, well, I guess they win against Mississippi State and UNLV, but they took them to overtime and lost only by 5.
James wants to know if you took advantage of the free Dairy Queen that was on Bronco Nation News last night.
Not yet. It was closed up by the time I was out of here, but I'm planning on it this week. We'll get one of them.
Maybe on the way back down to courtside, we can get you over there to grab one real quick on the way down. But any final thoughts, prediction, keys to the game? We're about 15 minutes from tip-off. We got to let you get some dinner and get ready for the game here. But any final thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think defense is the name of the game for Boise State. I mean, they're obviously going to have to score points, but you have to score points, and then you also have to hold Colorado State to under that 70-point range, maybe that 65-point range. Overall, they got to stop the guard play, and that's how they're going to win this game.
I think they got to keep them in the 50s or even like low 60s because they've scored 71 and 66 the 2 times they played them. Haven't even really been that close. So this has to be a lower scoring game. And Boise State's going to have to be hitting some threes, man. They're just going to have one of those special nights from the outside shooting, and it certainly could happen. Colin, great job as always. We're going to try the same plan as last night for the post-game show, but a heads up to folks, if Boise State loses, it will be a little bit later of a start because the winning team goes first in the press conference. So it's going to be a late night, but stick with us. We'll have full exclusive interviews with Gordy Presnell and players and highlights and all kinds of stuff, but it may be a little bit of a later night tonight if they lose. Just giving you a heads up, but hopefully they win. It'll be a fun night, and we'll get to the same live interviews and things we had last night. So, Colin, great job. We'll be following your tweets on the at BNN Bronco Nation Twitter account. So, again, at BNN Bronco Nation. Also, make sure you're following Colin Mitchell 7 as well on Twitter, and he's providing great coverage down there, and he'll be tweeting stats and things throughout the game. The game is on the Mountain West Network, and then probably 15, 20 minutes after the game, come back here and we'll have the post-game show. So, subscribe on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, James, I see you. Patsy and Peter Olson, you're on Facebook. Alexandra Lambert, go subscribe to the YouTube channel if you don't mind. And we would love to have you start watching the shows on YouTube moving forward, because that's where the easiest place is for us to all congregate, and you can know when we're going live and things like that. So, Colin, great job. Appreciate it, as always. And that'll do it. We appreciate all of our great sponsors. We didn't get to thank all of them individually, but hopefully you will support all of our great sponsors, whether it's Bousher Real Estate, BousherRealEstate.com, Ridley's Family Markets, ShopRidleys.com, United Commercial Insurance, UnitedCommercialInsurance.com, and of course, Boise Dentistry Co., BoiseDentistryCo.com. We appreciate all of our great sponsors for sponsoring us here and helping us get Colin to Vegas, and I'll be there tomorrow myself. So have a great rest of your evening. Enjoy the game. Have a Cutwater or 2 or 3, and we will talk to you on the post-game show. Boise State, Colorado State women, quarterfinals of the Mountain West Tournament. Does Gordy, Presnell, and company have some more magic up their sleeves at the Mountain West Tournament? We're about to find out, and we'll talk to you in a couple hours here at Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.